His name is...
It's John Monday. It is Monday the 11th of August, but yesterday, the 10th of August, Sunday, I finished game number 35, and that is Ico on the PS3. So, the reason I was playing Ico is because, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm part of like the Club 52 Game Monthly Challenge thing, where we have a wheel that all those who want to take part pick 3 games, and we put 3 games on the wheel, and then once a month, well, 1 to 2 months, and we spin the wheel, and if people want to get involved, then they play the game that gets picked. You don't have to play it. It's optional. And even though we've been doing this for a year and a half, or 2 years and a half, a while, finally, for the first time, one of my games has come up, and it was Ico. So, because I picked this up a year ago, a while back, and I never played the PS2 original, but I've heard so many good things about Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. So I thought, I thought it would be a good excuse to finally play it, but I thought it would be good to have other people like talk about it as well. And you can see my dog in the background. And yeah, so that's why we're playing it. By the time you see this, we should have had a live stream where we've gone more in depth with the game, so I'll just kind of give you my overall thoughts. And I can see why it is so beloved. And when I was playing it, I wanted to keep going and playing more. But there are things about it that I didn't enjoy, which I feel could have been remedied from the PS2 to the PS3 when they did the remaster. First of all, I can see why, but the enemies. In a way, I feel like the game potentially might be better if there were no enemies at all. More a case of the flying enemies. Those were absolute pain in the backside. But in the beginning, where you only have a plank of wood to hit them with, they take so many hits to beat, and it is really annoying, especially when you get knocked down. They grab Yorda, the girl, and like she starts getting sucked down into a pit, and if you don't rescue her in time, then it's game over. But there are times when the pit could be so far away from you that by the time you get up and try and get over to it, you've run out of time. Or, in one example, when the very first time they choose the flying enemies, I go to the pit, and one of them yeets me off the side of the building, so I fall to my death. Thanks. But once you get the sword, it becomes a bit easier, and then because it's an optional weapon, if you can find the mace, then that makes them, like, far easier. Far easier, so try and get the mace if you can. The other things that... that I don't think would have been changed, because the whole point is progression, like you get better weapons. Things I think could be improved is how the camera controls and the platforming. The reason being, there are times when I die because I was doing a platforming section, and the camera made me think I was going to go the right way, and I didn't, and I jumped and missed like a chain, or like fell to my death, or things like that. So yeah, I felt like that could be improved for this, because there are times when you're walking along a platform, and if you're not careful, then you start falling off and have to like grab on. Don't get me wrong, you don't just fall to your death every time, but it didn't feel as precise walking. Like, if you feel like you don't feel like you're going in a straight line when you're walking. So, but yeah, I guess the other thing as well, I understand why they've done this. The game is very immersive. There is no HUD, heads-up display. No on-screen prompt whatsoever. It's just the game world. That's it. So you have to try different buttons to figure things out, or read the manual. One thing that I did not realize until I kept failing a particular section is that when you're holding onto a chain, if you hold down the circle button, then you can like start swinging, and then you could jump and get further distance. I didn't realize you could do that, so I was trying to get through the chain to a platform section, which is too far, thinking, what am I doing wrong? Because there's nothing to explain it. Yeah, and another thing which really, I don't know if there's meant to be a certain tell, but there's a point where like you activate like a piston, something that goes up and down, and you have to use that to launch yourself to a higher platform. You're meant to jump at like the right moment, but I cannot for life of me figure out. So in the group chat, I said stick on a YouTube video and then just start pressing triangle over and over again until eventually you just happen to notice that it's gone up. Just do that. So, but yes, okay, that's my overall thoughts. But you definitely should play Ico. Even what I said is just, it is a PS2 game at the end of the day. So, but yeah, Ico number 35. It is Sunday, the 17th of August, and game 36 was finished on Friday, the 15th of August, and that is Sonic 3. Not and Knuckles, just Sonic 3 for the Mega Drive. Oh, hang on, actually, also, yeah, copy here. Sonic 3. So this is the latest Mega Drive challenge. I put it on because I thought I would give it a try Friday night just to like remind myself about the game because it's been a little while. I played for a little bit, not intending to do my actual run, and then I just kept playing and playing and playing. And I beat it. Didn't have all the Chaos Emeralds, I messed up some of the Blue Sphere stages. So I had enough opportunities to get all the Red Emeralds, but I just screwed it up. Yeah, so it's interesting to go back to play it, just the original Sonic 3. So in other words, the original music and like the jazzy theme you have during the credits, the fact that you still fight big arms, and when you're playing as well, Sonic or Tails doesn't matter because they removed it from the Sonic Tails route. For Knuckles, when it was added on with the Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and you still have the Dr. Robotnik TV station things, monitors, sorry, which were taken out of the combined game. So yeah, it's cool to re-experience all that. Yeah, it's definitely worth a play. I don't know how easy it is to play this version anymore because I don't think you can Origins. So, and I don't know if the compilations that you just play Sonic 3 on its own. But if you could play it, definitely give it a try. It's a proper classic. And hey, Rick, I completely forgot. CB Games. Long-time viewers of my channel will know that I shout them out a bunch. They're not around anymore, but that's where I got my Streets of Rage games from. So, cool. And today, Sunday, 17th of August, I beat game 37, which is Neko Can Dream on the Game Boy via the iPhone. So, this is a Game Boy Studio game. You could tell just by the look and the interface and everything. Nothing wrong with that. You just know what you're getting into. But you can only buy it as a physical cartridge, which has to come from Japan. Pricey. Otherwise, it's being released digitally on either the iPhone and also the Android Google App Store as well. So I bought it on the iPhone. I think it was £3 or £4. And yeah, it also has the ability to, like, if you close the app, it save states for you automatically, which is actually a pretty cool feature. So it was quite nice just to be able to like play it when even I had just like a minute, like while I'm waiting for my kids to do something, or like, just like, okay, like I don't really do mobile gaming. I don't. I've never been into it. So where everyone's like, yeah, that's what we use our mobiles for all the time. Well, for me, it's not. But it was quite cool to be able to play that. And I don't think. So, okay, the game is you play as someone who wakes up and they don't have any memories. Amnesia, of course. You have cat ears. So I guess you're a cat person. And then you're hungry. So you find a can and you don't have a can opener. So you go to this restaurant. They say, oh, that's not food. That's a dream can. Because apparently that town was quite famous for making dream cans. But they'll trade you for food. So if you get four of these things, then they will give you a bunch of cat food. Fine. So they tell you about three people where you could go into their dreams, have little adventures, and get a canned dream at the end. I won't ruin the story. It was a fun game. I mean, there's no combat at all, and there's sort of like puzzle elements, but it's about exploration and adventure. If you play a Game Boy Studio game, you probably know what you're getting into, but that doesn't take away from it. One thing to note is that if you do playing it on an iPhone at least, if you have it set to silent mode, the phone itself set to silent, then you will get no audio, no music, no nothing, unless if you're using a headset. So you have to actually take it off, which I thought was a bit weird because even though I have my phone on silent, like literally all the time, at least things like YouTube, Bandcamp, the apps will play music or audio when I want it to. But this, no, you have to actually turn it back on. So I thought that was just a bug with the app for the longest time. So yeah, definitely recommend it if you're into like that Game Boy studio style games. So yeah, Neko can dream. 10 off. It is Sunday, the 31st of August, and game number 39 has been finished, and it is Condemned Criminal Origins on the PC. Game 38 is shining in the darkness, as is an RPG, it has its own video. So, and also, if I skip a number, it's because it's an RPG and it's got its own independent video. Anyway, Condemned Criminal Origins. So, this is made by Monolith, who've made a lot of classic games like No One Lives Forever and Fear. So, I get the feeling that maybe playing this one on a console probably would be better. The reason I say that is I've heard from people who played it, the console versions, have saying that it's they found it to be better experience than what I did. So the Steam port, first of all, is missing files from it. Like the game runs, but like there's a fan patch which adds in like says missing like sound effects and things to improve the frame rate. So because when you're playing it, like it's just so slow, and my computer may be a bit old, but it's not that old. The other thing that I had complaints about, but again people didn't seem to have the same complaint, is about the combat. So there is technically guns in this game, except there's no ammo. So once a gun runs out of ammo, that's it. You can use it to hit people with it, but you're not getting more ammo for it, so you change it for another one. So the thing that the devs really want you to do is melee combat. So you can find like not knives actually, but you can find like it's to rather than stab, it's to hit. So we're talking like planks of wood, fire axes, lead pipes, things like that to hit people with, and they'll have different stats like for damage, reach, how you could if you want to defend yourself, so like to block an attack, to hold it up, things like that. But I really struggled with like hitting people. Like I would be like pressing the attack button, and it'll be like it shows that I'm hitting, but then it's not connecting, even though like they're turned round. So in theory, I should just be able to go onto them. And like other times, like if you like knock them to the floor or like taser them, for example, then I'm going over there trying to like finish them off, and it's just not doing anything. And they get back up, pick up their weapon that they dropped when they be tasered, and then come back at me. I'm like, what the hell? But it doesn't happen all the time. So I don't know if this is like a hitbox issue or something, but yeah. So if that really did make the game a bit of a slog, if I'm honest. Like I was pushing myself to get through some of the sections, especially when they throw multiple enemies at you and you're having to deal with this, or when it's spongy enemies as well. They take lots of hits to finish. Don't be a hero. Play the game on easy setting. Seriously, there's no reason like to go for the high difficulties, in my opinion. Otherwise, okay, combat aside, like I like the cinematic storytelling. So this is the funny thing is like when I played Fear, which they made before this game, I really enjoyed the gunplay, but I found the levels to be very samey, like because it's mostly set in like an office building, so it's just office floor after office floor after office floor quite often. Whereas this, there are 10 chapters of the game, so 10 levels pretty much, and they are all very distinct in there. So that a big plus like for that. So like they have very unique levels. I like that. and like it's very cinematic. Like I don't want to spoil the story, but you like at times you're thinking like, can you trust what your character is saying, or or are they deluded or whatever? But so like I did enjoy that. So yeah, maybe play it on the 360, I guess, or if it's backwards compatibility, maybe use that. I don't know if it's on PlayStation or if it was an Xbox and PC exclusive. But yeah, Condemned Criminal Origins. And that was, did I say at the beginning that was yesterday? I beat it yesterday. I'm a bit tired, so that I beat that on Saturday the 30th. What I did beat today, though, for game number 40, is Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers on the NES. So I bought the Disney Afternoon Collection on Steam like a year, 2 years, 3 years ago. So that has the two Chip 'n Dale games, Darkwing Duck, yeah, and two others. One of which people were shouting at me because it got remade because it has Scrooge McDuck. Where he's trying to find. Oh, anyway, and also the one where you play as the flying bear, the plane flying bear. I'm sorry, I am tired. Like I've been staying up like late to get through Shining in the Darkness, which I completed a couple of days ago. Then to finish Condemned, because that's been sitting on my backlog as well. Like I started it like 2 months ago, and then like being like, no, before you pick up new games, finish this. Anyway, back to Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. So I enjoyed the cartoon as a kid, loved it, and playing this. So the reason I started playing the game, yeah, I own the collection, like I said, but the reason why I decided to play it is because so Razor's Retro, it got set as a challenge to play as Dash and see how far you can get with before you lose life. And initially, I was like kept dying over and over again when I was doing my practice because I think I was trying to treat it like say something like Sonic, where I just or Mario, where I just kind of zoom through the level, and it's like no, you will be punished for that. You kind of have to take it a bit slow and see what enemies coming towards you, and then react accordingly. So once I actually took a breather and like it was actually pretty fun. Except okay, so I did finish the challenge, well my run of the challenge yesterday, and then I decided to come back to it today and play it properly. And yeah, so the very last level though, that gets kind of like Mega Man like difficulty there, where there's a specific bit on like a conveyor belt where you can barely jump because of like the roof above you is quite far down, and then like three enemies coming across in quick succession, and it's just like this is to try and waste lives, isn't it? Right now, to try and get you to do some replaying. But otherwise, yeah, I thought there's two maps. The second map is just three stages, one after another. But the one before that, you can actually kind of pick which route you go, because there's a couple of like branching paths. So you don't have to do all the stages. I did because I wanted to see what they were like. And yeah, that's pretty cool. The Afternoon Collection has the rewind facility. I didn't use that, and I got an achievement for that, which you should have seen a moment ago. But yeah, yeah, it's difficult. Like that last bit is difficult. I mean, if you practice it a couple of times, you pretty much are set for most of the games. And the bosses, I didn't find that difficult, with the exception of definitely the last boss, that one, and then another one which is kind of like they're all meant to be like robots except for like two which are cats, but like I would say a centipede, but it's not. But it's this walking thing that can go into like different parts and like falls down, but it's like does like to do a little bit of a homing thing, which is a bit of a pain. So, but yeah, if you don't have the Afternoon Collection, it's definitely worth picking up if you want some classic DuckTales. DuckTales. It's the DuckTales game. Ah, there we go. And Spin something for the other one. But yeah, so it's fine. I'll get to the other games. I think I might wait for the moment before playing the rest, because maybe they'll come up in challenges and they'll give me an excuse to play them. Yeah, otherwise, I don't like doing like sequels right after, like for example, Chip and Dale 2 straight away, because I like to have a break before doing sequels. Anyway, I might go to bed. It is Saturday, the 13th of September, and game 41 is finished. And it is Shinobi Art of Vengeance on the PC. Now, I'm going to say off the bat, this is a fantastic game. So, I pre-ordered this months ago, like maybe back in June, July time, because I wanted to support like Sega actually using some of its legacy IPs for a change, rather than just, having just like okay, yes, they have very popular series like Persona and Yakuza and Sonic and all that, but it's nice to see them like with Streets of Rage 4, who also were they were the devs who did Shinobi Art of Vengeance, so some great talent there. But yeah, to support like this is we want more of. We want to actually use your classic IPs and use and treat them with respect, and Shinobi does that in spades. So I didn't play Shinobi growing up. Like I never had it for my Mega Drive. I didn't have Revenge of Shinobi, nor did I have the Mega Games Volume 2, which had like Streets of Rage, Shinobi, and something else. So I didn't play this until like starting to do Mega Drive challenges, and so I've now played all three. I haven't beaten any of the three. I could tell that there is a reason why these games are loved. With Revenge of Shinobi, I think the thing that annoyed me the most was I found the double jump to be very hit and miss to actually implement, which really kind of soured me on it. Shinobi 3 was great, I just could not get through the game with the lives I had. Maybe if I went back to it and actually used the continues, if there are continues, I can't remember. Anyway, we're getting off topic. So, Shinobi Art of Vengeance. It is a 2D game, but the art style is fantastic. It is Neo Z, who are like the villains from the previous games, they're gone. This is someone completely new, which is good to see. And the game also uses some Metroidvania elements. So there are loads of stages, and there are things that you could discover through those stages, but then there are abilities you unlock, which you have to go back to earlier levels to then go and find these things. It could be either like there are artifacts you can find that you can use in the shop to unlock more things to buy. There are secret chests which either can give you health upgrades or even like new I say abilities, not the abilities that you use to traverse the levels, but like get like one is called Vampire, where you'll get health back by hitting things. For example, hitting your enemies, dealing damage. Things like that. And there's also places where you can do like a combat challenge, where they will send you some waves of enemies and you have to clear them, and there'll be usually 3 per stage, and then you'll unlock something for defeating those. The majority of levels also have a challenge portal, which one was cleared in the demo, and then once you beat all those, you unlock the Dark Katana, which deals more damage, which is quite nice. I have also done that. You would have seen the screenshot. Would I include the screenshot? Maybe, maybe not. I know I did take one, but I put that into the Club 52. Either way, you'll see I have 100% on one of the pictures that shows I have it. But yeah, so I think the platforming combat I think was like spot on. I mean, there was getting one of the collectibles that I found very difficult because of having to use a box that's moving through a screen, and you've got to get past like spikes and fire, where the fact that Shinobi will kind of automatically go grab onto something, and then if you want to kind of go down from the ledge onto the side, I don't think there's really a proper way of doing it other than like jumping and trying to grab on, so that could be very finicky. It took me many attempts to try and beat that one. But yeah, but I kind of felt like trying to do long sessions of this game I felt was difficult. Like at times I was needing a break. That wasn't to say the game was bad. It's just this isn't like a one sitting kind of game. I think you should kind of piece out, because the levels aren't short, so there you can kind of burn out after a little while. But it's still a fantastic game. I think this is a must buy. Like I immediately went and did the digital deluxe like upgrade, because also we're getting some extra bosses later this year, early next year. One of which is being revealed as Dr. Robotnik, I suppose they call it Dr. Eggman, but it's Dr. Robotnik. Anyway, definitely play Shinobi Art of Vengeance. You owe it to yourself. It is a fantastic game, and go play it.